such an enormous difference in cost effectiveness between interventions in low-income countries and high-income countries even possible? This isn't because charities in high-income countries work less hard. There are truly excellent charities in the United States, and there's lots of research invested in finding the best interventions. You might attribute this difference to lower costs in low-income countries. Costs are indeed often lower in these countries, but not by orders of magnitude like we're seeing here. The answer relates to a concept we already discussed: diminishing marginal returns. We're not the first people to ever try to help, including for-profit businesses, governments, and philanthropists and charities. You see, in rich countries like the US or the UK, there are a lot of people trying to help, and much more money to go around. If you have enough money, it's worth it for businesses to work hard to solve your problems. The average person in Somalia earns about 270 times less than the average person in Switzerland, which means companies usually find it more profitable to solve a Swiss person's baldness problem than a Somalian's life-threatening disease. Of course, governments are there to take care of their citizens, especially those that have been left behind by the free market. This is, of course, in addition to governments' many other critical roles. But people have very unequal governments as well. The UK is a great example, because they're more transparent about their health expenses than most countries. The NHS in the UK is roughly willing to fund medical treatments for its citizens if they cost less than £20,000 to £30,000 per dally. This direct assistance is, of course, above and beyond the vast differences in public infrastructure, public services, and public goods that have an enormous impact on the well-being of a country's population over the long run. Now, when problems fall between the cracks in governmental bureaucracies, as they often do, charities can pick up the slack in practice. Overall, the British people give about £11.3 billion, close to $14 billion, every year to charity. That's roughly the equivalent of the entire GDP of Nicaragua, Moldova, or Niger. So it goes without saying that donors in these countries can't donate anything remotely close to these amounts. Therefore, in most cases, and especially if you want to contribute at scale, your options for how to help in high-income countries are probably less cost-effective than in low-income countries. Note that there are still people in need in the UK. There are still things you can do to help, including ways to help beyond donations, which we'll discuss later in the course. And providing someone with an additional year of healthy life may be worth far more than £30,000, and so worth investing in. But you shouldn't expect to reliably save a life in the UK, or in other high-income countries for that matter, even if you're donating tens of thousands of pounds. But that's not the case everywhere. We've seen that the Against Malaria Foundation can save a life for only $5,500, which translates into less than $200 per dally. And that's not the only extremely cost-effective opportunity out there. Programs like seasonal malaria chemoprevention, vitamin supplementation, cash incentives for routine childhood vaccines are all highly cost-effective in improving health in low-income countries, and yet still need millions of dollars more to provide these treatments to children who need them in Burkina Faso, Chad, Nigeria, Ghana, Malawi, India, Kenya, and more. And all of this without even hitting significant diminishing returns.